Very good morning to you. 7 a.m. Monday, December 8th, 2025. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We will take your calls. 888-658-0234. Mixed sun and clouds today. A little breezy, but very cold. Highs only in the upper 20s. Very cold tonight. Meteorologist Mike Pavetta has the detailed Guard State forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
In a word, Mike.
Oh, yeah. If you've ever wondered what it was like to freeze your face off, just step outside for about 15 seconds this morning. It's the wind, Ken. The wind is what's going to take your breath away, especially with, yes, cold air is in place. Those wind chills that are currently making it feel like the single digits in spots, actual air temperatures at or below freezing statewide. But you head up toward, say, northwestern New Jersey, where the 27 degrees in Sussex feels more like colder due to those winds of 21 miles per hour. They're up in Sussex County, 24 miles per hour in Toms River. That's what makes it feel like the teens, and had briefly single digits earlier this morning. 19 is how it feels in Morristown right now, 20 in Newark, 19 in Hackensack, even down to Atlantic City. Feels like 21 degrees. So very cold air this morning, running about 4 degrees colder than this time yesterday at 7:02. So all of this chilly weather with the clear sky this morning, making for a very cold day. Actual air temperatures today climbing only into the mid-20s before they come crashing back down into the teens. And yes, even single digits again for tonight, 7 a.m. tomorrow in Sussex. 8 degrees, now feels like temperature, actual air temperature, and even actual air temperature of 10 in Morristown, 17 in Newark, 25 in Shipbottom, in the low 20s down the shore. So all of this cold weather with the sunshine today will maybe feel a little bit better when you see the sun. But it's Wednesday that starts off a little snowy and icy in the northwestern corner, rain elsewhere. I think we get another light accumulation throughout the morning on Wednesday, whereas it's a plain rain south and east of the turnpike, where this time there could be a little bit of a longer accumulation that works its way up into the northwestern corner of the state, all clearing out by the afternoon. So similar to what happened last week with that light icy, crusty accumulation, primarily in the car tops and grass surfaces in the northwestern neighborhood. It stays cold right into Friday and Saturday. Not much relief from the wind or the cold, especially with highs struggling just to make it above freezing today and tomorrow. Likely the mid-40s on Wednesday. That's where we get that little bit of a rain-snow mix during the morning. And so we're in the middle of what feels like the middle of January here in the first few days of December, week 2 of December. I feel like we pressed fast forward right to winter.
Well, can we then say that we've experienced January and just not have January and go straight through to February?
Oh, nice. That'd be really
Yeah,
nice.
let's talk about that. I mean, you have the connection. You talk about it like you can't just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, MN, MN, it's me, MF, MF to MN." We'll let people try to figure out the acronyms. All right, sir. Thank you very much. We will check back with you just a little bit. It is a chilly 32 degrees northern New Jersey, as Mike was saying, 28 in Trenton, and even the lightest of breeze when it's freezing or below, the lightest, even 5 miles an hour, now feels horrible because think about it. Your blood is 70, 80% whatever water, and you have below freezing temperatures blowing against you. Now, all of a sudden, your body's going to fight to kind of stay, excuse me as I hook up something here. Your body's going to fight to stay above freezing so that you don't freeze to death. That's sort of the way it works. All right, we check our traffic. We have a crash right now on Route 440 southbound south of the Garden State Parkway, Woodbridge, 2 left lanes closed. Disabled vehicle on the Garden State northbound south of exit 136 Stiles Street in Clark with 1 right lane blocked. And a traffic signal down on Route 45 northbound north of Route 632 Berkeley Road in Deptford Township. All lanes are open though. Pulaski Skyway. Mark my words, this is going to be a mess all morning. The Pulaski Skyway northbound by Raymond Boulevard, Newark, right in downtown, there is a crash. The right lane is closed. That is going to create a mess in downtown Newark for much of the morning. We have a crash also on the Turnpike Hudson County Extension eastbound by exit 14A with a left lane block. We take a look at the Hudson River crossings right now. The Holland Tunnel has a 25-minute crossover time. The Lincoln is also 25. GWB upper and lower levels right now look bumper to bumper. The closer we get to Christmas, all right, the closer we get to Christmas, the worse this will be every day as your trucks coming in to deliver goods in terms of presents, in terms of food, things like that. Don't go on the shoulder, sir. That is illegal. Ugh. Anyway, so just expect from now right through the first week of January, first few days, this is going to be worse and worse. So just understand, you might want to take mass transit, see if you could work from home. Take your vacation time now, because this is not going to get better until a few weeks pass. It is 7:06 right now, and former Democrat Senator Bob Menendez cannot seek public office again in New Jersey. That following his federal conviction for bribery and related charges. Mercer County Superior Court Judge Robert Laudy ordered the ban on Friday after New Jersey officials filed a lawsuit to prevent the 71-year-old Menendez from holding public office in the state amid rumors that there is the possibility President Trump might at some point consider pardoning him. President Trump never said he would, but the fact that President Trump recently pardoned Democrat Henry Cuellar to be good to Cuellar's family, and Cuellar slapped him in the face and said, okay, now that you pardoned me, I'm going to run and try to tilt the balance of Congress. Thanks a lot, Henry. But there is the possibility that President Trump does not want to see any elected politician behind bars. So that's why the state of New Jersey said, okay, if that's the case, you ain't ever running in New Jersey again. You can move to another state, but right now you cannot run again in New Jersey. 7:07 is our time. The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to take up the constitutionality of President Trump's order on birthright citizenship, declaring that children born to parents who are in the United States illegally or temporarily are not American citizens. Think about this. You're visiting France. Your wife is pregnant, okay? You're visiting France. As you're getting on the plane to fly back to the United States, the water breaks, baby is born. You don't want to be a French citizen. Maybe you do, but most people, you're an American. You want to come back to America. All of a sudden, France says, no, this is a French citizen. You must stay here. Now, you have different rules in different countries on who's a citizen and how they behave. Suppose then the child is at the age of consent. Suppose the child's 18. France says, we're going to war with Lithuania. Your child has to come fight because they're a French citizen. These are the cans of worms that open up when you declare by birth that the child is all of a sudden automatically a citizen of that country when the parents were not, and the parents just happen to be passing through or are there illegally. Now, the justices of the Supreme Court will hear Trump's appeal, a lower court ruling that struck down the citizenship restrictions that Trump imposed. Thus far, they have not yet taken effect anywhere in the country. The case will be argued in the spring. A definitive ruling is expected by early summer. Birthright citizenship, by the way, for those who think it's everywhere, it's not. It's only out of the hundreds of countries on the planet Earth. Birthright citizenship only exists in less than 10 countries, predominantly in the Americas, in the New World, because those countries were brand new. They didn't have citizens. They were trying to grow their populations and make it easy for anybody to become a citizen. That's why they created that. The U.S. Constitution created the 14th Amendment for people of African descent to receive citizenship to counter the earlier Dred Scott decision, which had ruled that anybody of African descent could never be U.S. citizens. And the main part of the United States said, no, it's BS. If you're an African, if you're from anywhere, and you want to become an American, you can. That's why they created the 14th Amendment, to force the issue. So that if you were a freed slave, for instance, and you wanted to be an American, say you were pregnant, you came to the free United States and you gave birth, now the slave owners could not pursue you from the South because you're a U.S. citizen. Do you get it? It was all about that. It wasn't about, I'm in my 8.5 month and I'm from, name your country, Thailand or whatever, and I want my child to be a U.S. citizen, so I'll fly to the U.S. and give birth and then come back. That's not what this was about, and it's clearly been abused by millions of people. 7:09, a wealthy New Jersey suburbs high school is advertising a new club for young socialists, the Highland Park High School Socialist Club. Yeah, that's what it's called. Reportedly held its first meeting last Thursday. They had that flyer going up all over town. The school advisor running the meeting is a leftist radical named Mr. Gervin. So if you're a parent in the Highland Park school system, and you know that Mr. Gervin is teaching your kid, you might want to yank your kid out of that school yesterday, or go to the school board and demand he be terminated. Highland Park has a median household income, by the way, of more than $100,000. These are a bunch of leftist rich snobs who, out of the guilt of what they have, they want the rest of us to suffer, thinking that somehow socialism is fair when it's not. It just keeps us all wallowing in shit. That's what socialism does. Rather than give us all an opportunity to strive to do better, it's okay, we may not have much, but at least we all have the same, and it's all shit. That's not what America, that's not what humanity is about. And I don't want that. And the problem is with socialism, you don't have a choice. It's imposed on you and everyone except for the socialists at the top. A Cato Institute study found that 62% of 18 to 29-year-olds view socialism favorably and 14% favored full-fledged communism. You could thank liberals in schools teaching your kids that and the people online. Make sure you know what your kids are surfing on. The Ocean City Council voted last Thursday to authorize the city's planning board to determine whether the site of the former Wonderland Pier needs rehab. If it's deemed to, that would open up the possibility that 2.5-acre site could be rezoned and a previously rejected 252-room hotel plan could be moving forward. The plan would preserve Wonderland's Ferris wheel and carousel. Since Wonderland closed in 2024, the property has deteriorated because of its location. And Netflix closed on its deal last Friday to take over the enormous 289-acre parcel that was Fort Monmouth. The company plans on building a huge production facility there that would provide thousands of jobs. The announcement came on the same day the streaming giant shared it purchased Warner Brothers, including CNN, HBO Max, and HBO for $83 billion. Amazing. Coming up on 7:12 right now, we have the temperature of 25 degrees in northern New Jersey. It's 28 degrees in Trenton, 27 degrees now in Vineland, and 24 degrees in Cape May. Mixed cloud and sun today, a little breezy, very cold, highs only upper 20s. Very cold tonight. Meteorologist Mike Favetta will return with your full Garden State forecast. Also, we will take your calls at 888-658-0234. 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. It is a Monday. Do you have your Christmas shopping done? You realize Christmas is just 2 weeks from this week. 2 weeks from Thursday is Christmas Day. 2 weeks from Wednesday is Christmas Eve. If you haven't started, get it done today. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. We're coming right back. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
On New Jersey Mornings for your Monday, I'm Ken Rosato at 7:15, and we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Mixed clouds and sun today, a little breezy, very cold. Highs only in the upper 20s, very cold tonight. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the detailed Garden State forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
Hey, Mike, I mean, when you don't even hear birds chirping, that says something.
Hmm. Yeah, no, and it's funny because I brought out the garbage this morning to the curb, thinking like, oh, I'll just do it in the morning. Boy, was that a mistake. So much colder this morning as opposed to last night. And there was a bird kind of flapping like clearly missed the flock to fly south to Florida because it's a
Or
little
maybe
too
maybe the
chilly.
bird was saying, "Holy flock." I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Probably, if not the bird myself, because yes, he couldn't have the fingertips after a few minutes. It is that cold this morning and dry with the very breezy conditions. Clear sky all around, no rain or snow today, but that will not be the case by the time Wednesday morning rolls around with a little bit of snow and rain in the forecast for the early part of the morning. 32 degrees is our high today, not even getting above freezing back over in Mattawan and Freehold. 31 as your high. A mix of clouds and sun, probably more clouds as the day goes along. And the forecast wind chill tonight gets even colder. It feels like -1 up in Sussex, 1 above on the green in Morristown, 19 right there on Broad Street in Newark, and over toward Long Branch and Toms River. Plenty of cold air throughout tomorrow morning, even through sunrise at 7 a.m. Still feels like the single digits up in Hackensack. 8 degrees, how it'll feel for you. Now, even though Wednesday doesn't look that cold, it'll be windy with some rain and snow by the morning, lasting through the afternoon with another reinforcing shot of cold weather. So this chill does not quit anytime soon. It stays around for at least this afternoon. With the winds, that is. The winds are lighter tomorrow. That's kind of the saving grace here, even though it's a little colder in the morning. Winds turn lighter, and then they get gusty again, likely up to gale force down on LBI, 34-mile-an-hour winds out of the south and west by Wednesday, keeping things a little bit milder there. But again, relatively speaking, I mean, it'll be in the 30s with rain throughout Wednesday morning, and then the winds switch again, bringing back some cold weather going into Friday and Saturday. So with our clear sky right now, you see a lot of this rain staying down off to our south and east. It's just so cold. It's too cold to rain or snow at the moment. And going into the next few days, I think that'll change, especially by the time we get to Tuesday night, tomorrow night, to early Wednesday morning. You see the clouds return, and with it, a little bit of that moisture comes in throughout the morning Wednesday. Rain, snow, north and west, rain elsewhere across the state, clearing by Wednesday. So the chilly weather is here to stay, even into the weekend. I mean, this is unusual to have a weekend forecast highs that are just at or slightly above the freezing mark. So really doesn't get warmer anytime soon, even beyond this core of the cold air, the stratospheric polar vortex. Yes, it has arrived, and it's not going anywhere at any time soon, Ken.
You wanted to say polar vortex so badly you could taste it. You could
That's
taste
why I
it.
included
Polar vortex.
stratosphere to kind of, bury it in the word salad of meteorological terminology.
I love that. I got to look up. You know what? I will back you if you publish the book of word salads of modern meteorology. How about that? We'll do that. And each day
Got
we'll like put
rain
up a little
bomb.
word.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
Snain.
yeah, yeah.
I think Snain is a good
Mm-hmm.
one. We need to do that.
And
All right,
the,
sir.
the the bombogenesis, love that one.
The bombogenesis.
Good one,
Love
right?
it. In fact, I just got a little tingle up my spine. All right, Mike. Well, it
Might
doesn't
be
take much.
bombogenesis. You should see a doctor.
Yoo-hoo, there it goes. There it goes. There's the word. All right, Mike, we'll take back a little bit, sir. Thank you. 36 degrees right now, northern New Jersey. It's 28 in Trenton. So as you go inland, that's where you feel the cold. The shoreline along the water, that's where things sort of get moderated. So that's why the temperature here is we get a little easterly breeze off the river. You get temperatures moderating a little bit here, but inland you get that cold air, and that is what it is. All right, so we have a crash on Route 440 southbound south of the Garden State Parkway, Woodbridge, right shoulder closed there. Disabled vehicle over to the Garden State. This is northbound, south of 136 Stiles Street in Clark with the right lane blocked, and that's what you see on your screen right there. To Route 45 in Deptford, we have a traffic signal down at Berkeley Road, and we have a crash now on the Pulaski Skyway northbound 19 route. That's the truck lanes. That's that little old rickety-looking bridge there that's just been fixed a few years ago in Newark by Raymond Boulevard. White Lane is closed, and that's causing bumper-to-bumper traffic along the Pulaski Skyway. We also have delays on 139 lower level by Tunnelly Avenue, and that's on the approach to the Holland Tunnel. In fact, speaking of, Holland Tunnel is now going to be 25, 30 minutes in. It's 25 at the Lincoln. GWB upper and lower level just bumper to bumper at this early hour, and this is going to continue through the next couple of weeks, just as all those trucks are taking in goods to Manhattan to sell. So this is going to cost you 45 to 50 minutes getting in. Upper, lower levels, 8095 approach to the GWB. It is 7:21, and this past Friday, December 5th, the Morristown High School football stadium was transformed into something extraordinary. Homeless Solutions, great organization. They turned the field into an overnight encampment for an organization called A Night in the Cold. Or that's not an organization, but an event. And it ran from 6 p.m. till 8 a.m. the next morning. So for 14 hours, tents covered the field. Temperatures, of course, dropped outside. Hundreds of people chose to spend one cold night outside to better understand what so many of their neighbors face every day. Now, you might say, well, that's just liberal gobbledygook, just donate or find a solution. I get it. But it's a good lesson for young people to know what it could be if you do not have a home. Okay. So the question is, do you do something from here? And this group does. This group has built community homes and things like that. So kudos to them. Homeless Solutions continues to be a leader in Morris County, offering what they call a hand up, not a hand out, providing shelter, housing, and supportive programs to help individuals and families rebuild stability, independence, and hope. You go to the web, and you'll see every year they have, it seems, one or two major projects to help build a home, rehabilitate a home, something to help people not be homeless. And you say, well, what does that do? Well, if 100 organizations did that, you would probably fix the problem. So God bless these folks for making an effort and doing what they're doing. 722, it seems leftists in the state of Oregon feel it's okay to stab somebody potentially to death if you don't like what they say, because who needs freedom of speech in America? So apparently, check this, and you have to listen to the details. Two homeless guys with lengthy rap sheets. Those two are allegedly homeless men on your screen there. These two homeless guys got into an argument. Apparently, one is black, one is white. Surveillance video shows the black man holding a knife, approaching the white man from behind. The video then appears to show the black man stab the white man. The white man's alive. He survived. The black man's defense attorney in court said the black man, Gary Edwards, was only approaching the white man, Gregory Howard, because he wanted to trade his knife for a cigarette, which is why I guess he snuck up from behind with the knife exposed and then, without the white guy knowing, stabbed him. Yeah, that's what you do when you want to trade your knife for a cigarette. Well, apparently, after he got stabbed, the white guy, Howard, called the African-American gentleman the N-word. But it was after the attack. Now, for that, the jury acquitted the black man on the grounds that it suggested the white man posed a threat to the black man's safety all along. And there was the proof. After the black man stabbed him, he used the N-word. Therefore, he had hatred in his heart all along and would have wanted the black man dead. That is some hell of a kind of logic. Listen, you get stabbed in the back and you don't know if you're going to survive. You use all sorts of language. I don't care, white, black, green, or orange. I don't care if it sounds racist or schmacist. Somebody stabs you, you don't know if you're going to survive. You say all sorts of things. And for a jury to say it's justifiable to stab someone, even though nothing provoked the stabbing, this is crazy. And by the way, the African-American gentleman has a track record, has a history, has a whole police record of having assaulted people, attacked people, an attempted stabbing before. The guy has a record of doing this just randomly to people. But the jury says, no, this is the liberal socialist mind in Portland. Black guys are okay. You could do anything you want. Doesn't matter who you do it to because you're African American. Listen, nobody deserves discrimination, whether you're black, white, or green, but nobody deserves special treatment and immunity, whether you're black, white, or green. Otherwise, we do not have a society that is civilized. Portland is a disaster. It is a socialist, disgusting pigsty mess. 725, New York's incoming mayor, speaking of Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani, told reporters Thursday he's planning on immediately ending the dismantling of makeshift homeless camps around the city, saying the policy hasn't led to enough people getting into permanent housing. Sir, that wasn't the job to get them into housing. The job was to get them off the street because it is illegal for them to loiter there. Mamdani said that he would instead focus on connecting people with housing like no other mayor's done this, right? However, he offered no details on how he's going to do it. More than 45,000 complaints for encampments were reported this year alone. How would you like to invest your whole life savings into a business and right in front of a bunch of people wallowing in their shit as your customers are trying to climb over them to come to the business? And literally, if you go out of business, your family starves to death. See, Mamdani never thinks about that. It's all about these social programs. Meanwhile, yesterday, Mamdani offered advice to illegal aliens on how to evade ICE. In a video message, he told them to stand up to the federal agents and know your rights. That's his quote. The Democratic Socialist positioned himself as the mayor of, quote, more than 3 million immigrants. So if you're here illegal, he's your mayor. But if you're a legal resident who pays taxes, screw you. He's not your mayor. Yet you voted him in, you stupid ass. This follows last weekend's ICE raid in Chinatown, which was disrupted by protesters. Mamdani said, quote, ICE cannot enter into private spaces like your home, school, or private area of your workplace without a judicial warrant signed by a judge. Well, where's the Trump administration? Where is Pam Bondi? What this punk needs is a team of federal agents bashing down his door in Queens right now and cuffing his ass and hauling him off on camera to teach everybody a lesson. You do not break federal law, and he's teaching people to evade federal law. And CMS Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz on Friday warned Minnesota Governor Tim Walz his state could lose federal Medicaid funding unless it restores the integrity of its program. In a post on X, Dr. Oz said more than $1 billion has been stolen through a massive Medicaid fraud scheme carried out by bad actors within Minnesota's Somali community, stating some of the funds may have even made their way to the Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Oz pointed to 2 Minnesota Medicaid programs launched in recent years, run entirely by local Somali appointees. In one case, that program started at $2.6 million. It went up to $100 million. Another started with $3 million in 2018, and it's now demanding $400 million. So where is all this money going? Nobody seems to know. When we come back, we're going to tell you about women farting. I'm serious. It's a real story. I think I'm crazy. Just tune in. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. Please continue watching. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSD, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy or healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
A very good morning. It's 35 degrees, 7:30, Monday, December 8th. I'm Ken Rosato, and welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has your Garden State forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
All right, Mike, I lock you on screen here and ask you if you would mind if I give you a gross story alert. This is a
Okay.
legitimate story. Google it. This is for real.
Uh-oh.
On average,
Yeah.
humans break wind up to 23
Okay.
times a day. New research, though, shows that women's flatulence smells worse than men's. But wait, there's real
There's
science behind
more.
it. Yes.
Okay.
First, the good news. The worse the stink, the less likely a person is to develop Alzheimer's.
Oh,
Now, I'm
wow.
doing a science story because we have two young scientists coming up here. The
Okay.
stink comes predominantly from hydrogen sulfide. That's the same gas that is produced by rotten eggs.
Mm-hmm.
The gas may help protect aging brain cells from Alzheimer's, according to a study. While men tend to pass larger volumes of gas, the study found that female flatulence contained a significantly higher concentration of hydrogen sulfide than that of their male peers. As for who gets
Huh.
embarrassed by their toots, women, followed by gay
Yeah.
men. Heterosexual men seem to not really give a damn about tooting in public or anywhere else. There you go.
Uh,
I hope that somebody flags that tape, and when I go to retire, somebody airs that as what I am remembered by. There you have it.
News that matters, Ken. Important. It's part of our daily
Hey, at
lives,
least
right? 23 times a
I
day,
did.
once an hour.
I didn't say fart.
That's
Oh, I guess I
impressive.
did.
No fart jokes
So,
here.
hi, Mike.
Mm-mm.
So, how about that forecast, huh?
It's not a lot of hot air with this forecast, Ken. It's gonna stay chilly. See, it's with the cold weather around this morning. It's gonna feel quite chilly, especially into this afternoon. We can't really head down the shore to find some warm because even there, highs struggling just to make it above freezing. Even with the wind chill, it'll feel like it's at or below the freezing mark. Hamilton with the clouds today only makes it to 32. So with the wind gust this afternoon, I mean, right now they're still gusting 22, 24 miles an hour in northwestern New Jersey, 24 miles per hour down the shore. That's what aids in that wind chill that makes it feel like the teens, well below our average of 47 degrees, and keeping it chilly all throughout the next several days. So with a few clouds entering northern Jersey now, most of them across southern New Jersey with some rain offshore, it stays dry today. But that will not be the case by Wednesday as the winds start to move in from the south and west by tomorrow afternoon after another cold morning down in the teens and single digits. Look what happens by late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. Winds move in from the south and west, pushing in some slightly milder air. That brings us into the 40s overnight, but that just helps the rain develop for Wednesday morning. There will be some snow north and west, and this time accumulates probably a little bit more than what happened last week, but there's a whole lot of rain that sticks around for the middle of the day Wednesday before clearing Wednesday night, and then we get another round of cold that immediately follows. So here's the high pressure today, keeping our skies nice and clear. Rain steers clear of New Jersey tonight. Tomorrow we're dry, more clouds increase throughout the day, and there's our system that briefly comes in, a light round of rain and snow northwestern New Jersey, rain everywhere else, and then it's just reinforcing cold right through the next several days. Maybe Friday we have the potential to pick up another flake or flurry, and that shows up here on the 7-day forecast with highs that only make it to 39 on Thursday, 37 by Friday. The chilly weather lasts through the weekend with highs yet again at or below the freezing mark on Saturday or Sunday. The shore points can't even find relief there. Briefly milder on Wednesday, but that's again with wind and rain. And then Thursday and Friday cooling down back down into the deep freeze with overnight lows in the low 20s this weekend. So really cold stuff on the way again, Ken, just as we head into next week.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. It's 7:35 right now. We have 34 degrees northern New Jersey, 28 degrees in Trenton, 31 right now in Vineland, and 32 in Cape May. In terms of traffic, we look at a traffic signal down on Route 45 northbound, north of Berkeley Road in Deptford. All lanes are open. A lot of traffic through there, though, and your Hudson River crossing is looking very heavy this morning. Your Holland Tunnel approach is now going to cost you about 35 minutes. Lincoln Tunnel 30 to 35. GWB upper and lower levels 80 95 approach. Your upper on the right, thank you for moving that camera, looks a little better than your lower on the left. Well, was on the left. We have no control over these cameras, folks, so just bear with us. That lower level on the left there is clearly heavier. We're told that's 45 minutes in, 35 to 40 upper level on the right. Okay. It is a contest of brains, and New Jersey is well represented. We're talking about the Global Breakthrough Junior Challenge Popular Vote, an annual global science video competition for students aged 13 to 18, encouraging them to create original 2-minute videos that creatively explain complex concepts in physics, mathematics, or life sciences. The winner receives a $250,000 scholarship, a prize for their teacher, and a science lab for their school. Two outstanding New Jersey students, 16-year-old Tanisi Reddy and 17-year-old Ryan Zhao, are among just 30 semifinalists from around the world. Their videos are up now on YouTube and Facebook, and the public has until tomorrow to cast a vote. We say good morning, Tanisi and Ryan. Good to have you on.
Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. And I apologize about the story. We won't even mention it anymore. The horrible story we had for you. You must have been thinking, dear God, please don't get us involved in this. So we won't even mention it. We'll just move forward. For the intelligent part of the show, that was the, let's just say, lack of intelligence part of the show. First off, Tanisi's video is on our fight or flight response. Let's start with Tanisi. What made you focus on fight or flight? There we go. Let's try the audio. All right. All right. You know what, Pam? We'll try to fix Tanisi's audio. Okay. We'll do that, and we'll go over to Ryan for a second. Ryan, you worked on something called Noether's theorem, and I'm sure a lot of people would say Noethers. It's Noether's, right? Noether's theorem. I had to look it up, by the way. What made you want to explain Noether's theorem in your video, and what is it?
Yeah, it's a great question. So my topic, Noether's theorem, was to provide some context. For centuries, scientists have considered these conservation laws, for example, conservation of energy, that energy cannot be created or destroyed, as universal assumptions of how our world works. But Noether's theorem provides a mathematical explanation for every single conservation law in a single theorem. And it's, at least to me, it was like I never knew that this sort of thing existed. I too thought that these were just kind of things that were how the universe worked. But it turns out that it's not so. There is deep mathematical reasoning behind the intricacies of our physical universe. And I wanted to share it with the world through this Breakthrough Junior Challenge video, because I felt that it was deeply representative of what science really is. And it's not what most people think. It's not a collection of truths. It's more of a series of attempts by humans to understand how and why things work. And I wanted to share that process, that mental process of just getting it right with the world and the amazing things we can discover along the way.
That's fascinating. So, because I think about, we were always taught from school that that you can't produce more energy. I'm not going to be able to explain this well. You're the science mind, but you can't, like, for instance, perfect example with a Tesla car that tries to capture through braking, trying to recharge batteries, that you can't end up with more energy at the end of the process than less. But that's been disputed now, right? So Noether's theorem then, I guess, shows you the way of analyzing it, and right, and the way we look at this in the universe, and tries to help explain the way we kind of break it down. Is it sort of like reverse engineering? Is that it?
In a way that's correct. However, I think maybe using a Tesla car is, or anything to be honest, that applies over like a short time scale, maybe like a few days, few years, maybe even 100 years, is not where the beauty of, or in my opinion, where the coolest thing notice theorem applies. Because what notice theorem proves to us is that these laws we considered universal, like conservation of energy, are not in fact universal. In fact, they break down over very, very long timescales, billions and billions of years. And this is actually one of the things that scientists back in the day were really concerned about with Einstein's general theory of relativity, his hallmark scientific discovery. Because in his equations, it said that energy was not conserved, and people were confused, like this can't happen. But notice theorem proved that yes, it can on big, big scales.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for clarifying that, because and the amazing thing is the way you explain it, I actually understood. I read it online about 20 times and I still was confused. And in 2 minutes, you explained in a way that I understood it. So thank you for that. And this is why you two are finalists. Tanisi, now we have your audio back. Thank you for your patience. I apologize. Tanisi's video is on our fight or flight response. So what made you focus on fight or flight, Tanisi?
So this kind of comes with a little story of mine. So I got an email from Khan Academy, like those generative emails saying, "Oh, join the Breakthrough Junior Challenge, make a 2-minute video about a complicated science topic." And I knew I wanted to do this because I'm really good at video making. I took videography classes at school, and I just love making videos in general. So I was like pacing my room, going back and forth. It's like I have no idea what to talk about. I was getting so nervous. I was clammy. My heart was beating, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So I realized like this is the perfect idea. This feeling of nervousness, this stress, this response. I wondered like why does this happen? So I started researching it, and I found out this is the perfect topic that I can talk about. It's really relatable. Everyone experiences stress, and just like knowing what goes on behind the scenes is just really interesting to me, and I feel like other people would also find it really interesting. So that's why I chose it.
I love it. And it's true. Everybody encounters this every day. It's a good way to make us analyze it. We're down to a few seconds, unfortunately, but I want to ask how people can vote for your project. So Tanisi or Ryan, whoever wants to take it, how do people get online and vote?
Yeah, for both of our projects, to be honest, our videos are both on Breakthrough Junior Challenge's YouTube page and Facebook page. And so if you scroll there, and you could also look up our names in the process, then you'll find our videos. And if you find our videos enjoyable and really think that we should move on to the finalist round, you just give a like, and that's all you got to do, to be honest.
Well, our staff is going to get online. We have it on the screen at breakthroughjuniorchallenge.org. Our staff is going to get online and make sure we support our good New Jersey people. Thank you so much. You both make us so proud. Again, 16-year-old Tanisi Reddy, 17-year-old Ryan Zhao. You've already made New Jersey above and beyond proud. Everybody get online and vote for them. Best of luck in the competition, and happy holidays. All right,
thank you so much, Ken.
Rock.
Thank you.
We have nothing to worry about with them. Nothing to worry about with them in our future. It is now 35 degrees. You're watching ONNJ Jersey Mornings. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Get your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a nonprofit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 746. We're taking your calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has a chilly Garden State forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
Boy, Mike, you certainly can feel the cold when you go outside.
Yes, yes, it takes your breath away. It is a numbing cold today, Ken. That doesn't exactly get warmer because while the air temperature may slightly get higher throughout Wednesday, that's when the rain starts falling. So a chilly feel by the middle of the week. At least today, we get some breaks of sun across northern New Jersey, even though the highs will hold in the upper 20s, not even cracking the freezing mark this afternoon. So yes, it will be chilly throughout the end of the day. Didn't pick up any moisture over the weekend, so drought continues throughout this week, even heading right down the shore with anywhere from 39 to 67% of normal rainfall over the last 30 days. And that translates to about 1 to 2 inches at the worst in terms of where we should be just to get to average. So we're still running a bit drier than usual. The cold, well, you see where the core of the cold is across parts of Maine, but even here in New Jersey and most of the Northeast, we are running well below average. The desert Southwest, nice and warm, above average there for the middle of the month. And then our rain chances, I think, are a little bit drier and lesser going into the next few weeks here for New Jersey. Beyond the next week into the 7-day forecast, you see that by the weekend, we're still chilly. Temperatures struggle to make it much beyond freezing, and even into Monday of next week, a whole week away, we're not even at the freezing mark. So very chilly weather can ahead, at least for the next 7 days. I think our next chance of rain and snow this time Wednesday morning. So about 48 hours to go before it starts to look a little wintry around here.
There you go. All right, Mike, thank you for the heads up for that. It is 35 degrees northern New Jersey, 28 degrees in Trenton. It's 29 degrees right now in Vineland, and it is 33 in KA. So it seems that the water is moderating things a bit in terms of temperature. But once you get inland, that's when you start to feel the cold. All right, let's take a look right now at the New Jersey Turnpike. We have a disabled truck on the Jersey Turnpike outer roadway northbound south of interchange 14 by I-78. The right lane is blocked. You could see the damage done there. What an absolute mess. You could see the right lane not moving at all as people are going to try to make their way off to the left. Along with, you could see there's construction there already. So I guess one thing added insult to the other. We have so many things just popped up. Sorry, water main break on Route 17 northbound north of Industrial Avenue, Hasbrook Heights. Right lane is closed. And then your Hudson River crossings, Lincoln and Holland both reporting 25 to 30. Your GWB 8095 approach, the lower level was jammed before on the left. You'd see it's barely moving. Upper level also pretty heavy. They're telling us the lower level is going to cost you 45 to 50 in. Upper level is 40 to 45. 749. The holidays, of course, are full of fun, family, guests, and busy schedules, but all that excitement can create a lot of anxiety for our pets. So what to do about it? Dr. Alexia Tsakiris is the founder of Naturopathic Veterinary Wellness Center in Red Bank, and she's here to talk about it. Good morning to you, Dr. Tsakiris.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me.
Well, nice to have you on. And holidays, of course, can be chaotic for us. Look at that traffic we just
Right.
showed everybody, let alone our pets. So, explain why this time of year tends to increase anxiety in dogs and cats.
Well, it's like you said, we're all stressed. They pick up on our stress. There's more people in the house, there's more excitement, there's more food. And so our pets are used to the everyday. And now suddenly we spring on them the holidays, like things are sprung on us. And they have to learn to adjust to the situation. And there's certain things that we can do to help them through this time, whether it be just behavior modification, herbs, or pharmaceuticals sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even little things like your pets, people forget that pets sleep an awful lot of the day, especially when we're at work or at school or whatever, right? Don't dogs sleep sometimes 12 plus hours a day? And if you suddenly have your house full of visitors and noise and the kids are home from school and all that changes and that can impact a pet's mood, right?
Right, all of that changes. And then, like you said, there's new people in the house, new energetics. And so it's really important to understand where your dog is coming from and not try to force them into a situation if they're not comfortable. Oftentimes I'll say to people, leave your dog in your bedroom, a safe space, so they can start to hear people. Once everybody's settled down, then let them out. Because it's really important to remember that they need to settle into the situation as well and not just like throw them into the fire of company and chaos.
So if you do see your pet start to really stress out, maybe they shake a little bit or they just act in ways they don't normally. So let's talk about some of the ways we can get our pets to relax during the holiday season.
So that's where I really like to have a safe space for them in the house where they can go. They know there's not going to be any little kids that they're not used to running up to them. They can be there. If you give them, let's say, a puzzle toy, a Kong with some food in it, so that their mind is occupied, you can enjoy your time and they can enjoy their time. Because remember, just because we might love company coming over, they might not love it. And so it's to not force our agenda onto them.
One thing we always did with our dogs, and unfortunately, I'm in between dogs, as they say right now. We lost ours. We talked about this. About it's actually yesterday was 2 years. We lost our little boy dog Kobe, and I mean, we still recognize the anniversaries of their births and death and everything else. They were part of the family. One thing we always did though was when they were pups, we would have large gatherings and just keep people quiet, but we wanted them to be used to a lot of people. And so
Yeah,
our dogs were always great, and kids too. Our dogs were just amazing. They never nipped, they never snapped, they never bit. They loved being around people, and they were always the mushes who would go over and just want to be on your lap and be cuddled and play with you. And so that was so important. Whereas our very first dog, we didn't have that kind of introduction. And so
hmm
sometimes you have to keep your eye on him especially with kids.
right,
We would have to say, please don't, because you never know. He would snap. So
right,
I guess every animal has a different personality. So you can't always assume that if you do this, this will happen. But
right.
yet,
And that's the thing to
sometimes.
understand. They're individuals like us.
All right. So but especially if they're puppies and kittens, is it important to have those gatherings when they're really young to try to get them introduced to people? Or does it matter? You can introduce and teach an old dog new tricks.
I mean, we like to say we can teach old dogs new tricks, but it is really important to start them from a younger age and always make everything positive. It's not just you have a puppy, you bring over 100 people, and they're going to get used to the situation. It's to make it positive, have people in comfortable situations, not overwhelm them, give them little treats. And that's also where, not just for puppies, but older dogs, if you are trying to teach older dogs new tricks, is to take the edge off a little bit before company comes over so that they're not as like amped up with anxiety. And then this way they're more able to learn that they're safe in this space. So that's why when you're saying to teach them as puppies and kittens that people can come over, they're safe, it's an enjoyable situation so that moving forward through life, they're more comfortable. Now, saying that, we should remember that as our pets are getting older, like us, they might get a little bit crankier because of underlying conditions. And so it's also important to remember that if you have an older dog, let's say, who might be a little arthritic, they might not be as amenable to the little kids tugging on them anymore because they might just hurt. So there's things like that to also keep in mind when company is coming
Yeah.
over.
So important. So important. And
Yeah.
then there are things like snacks. You always have that one Uncle Joe or someone who loves it. It's all right. I used to give our dog raw steak. And it's like, please listen, we have a dog on a certain diet. So what we used to do to avoid that, we used to say, if you really want to feed the dog, and we used to put out the specific things we wanted the dog to be treated with. And that way, because people love doing that. They love to feed the dog. So, but now they had something they could feed the dog that wouldn't get the dog sick. That's what we used to do, but everybody's different. So was that a decent thing to do? And we would feed our dog less.
I think that's brilliant. You know, instead of like the bowl of M&Ms, you have a bowl of like beef liver treats. And so they can give that to the dog instead, because the number of stories now that are coming out in practice of clients coming in, reminiscing about the holidays, how their dog ate a box of chocolate that someone brought over and then they spent 3 days in the ER, you know, so it's things like that to remember. So having a bowl of something enticing that's going to be better for them, actually a great idea.
Yeah, and actually, that's one of the things that made Kobe, our little boy Kobe, look forward to everybody coming over, because he knew that was when his treat bag would get opened up and he would love it. We were not excessive treaters, so it was when the family came over that he would then get those treats. What's a website, doctor, for more information? Because your veterinary practice is very different from most, and it's worth the drive. So you're in Red Bank, but tell everybody a website to get more information.
Our website is naturopathicvet.com. We're also on Instagram at naturopathic_vet, where you can find us for some tips and mostly, honestly, pictures of us treating our patients, because we love our patients and putting them on there.
Like I said, when we get our next dog, we're going to have to do the hour 15-minute drive to you on a regular basis and do the remote. I know you do telemed with them too. That's what we're going to be doing. So. But I love your whole different approach, the holistic approach to treating animals is so important. It really is. And I wish next time we have a dog, we want our dog to be living more than the years that we did. So we appreciate you. Dr. Alicia Securis, founder of Naturopathic Veterinary Wellness Center, Red Bank, New Jersey. We thank you so much, and happy holidays to you.
Thank you so much, Ken. Happy holidays to you. Happy and healthy.
Thank you. And when we come back, she's a Grammy-nominated jazz artist from Verona. Charu Suri will join us to talk about her music. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings. We're back in 2 minutes.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Get your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-ride equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, free 24/7 virtual care. You can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning. It's 8 a.m. Monday, December 8th, 2025. Welcome back to ONNJ Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full chilly Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
Coming.
Mike is trying to make sure that Pam's heart is pounding today. So would you reset the camera?
It is a heart-stopping forecast, so I had to kind of provide a little, prelude to let you know how cold it is outside. Very, very chilly weather. It's a sign that you want to bundle up. Very cold air in place this morning, and the wind kind of getting under all of the layers that I'm sure you're wearing as you step outside into 28-degree air temperatures in Hackensack, 27 right now in Sussex. But this is half story. It's the wind chill that makes it painfully cold, especially with that wind chill of 16 in Sussex, 18 in Morristown, even 21 down the shore in Tom River. So super cold air in place, thanks to those gusty winds upwards of 27 miles per hour down the shore, 26 miles per hour in Mount Holly, and even 21 mile per hour winds over in Flemington. So this cold weather, that's a result of the northwesterly wind that really snuck in last night, making it feel extra chilly into this morning, bringing back some clouds, but keeping any rain at bay, at least for today and tomorrow. You can see some clouds try to work their way through. It's the wind that pushes all of that moisture south and keeps us dry into tonight. Tomorrow morning, actual air temperatures waking up at 10 on the Green in Morristown, 18 over in Newark, 21 in Toms River, and the clouds return by tomorrow evening. So it's a sunny day today. Not all that warm. Sunny tomorrow, even colder. And then by Wednesday, as the rain and snow get going north and west of the turnpike, there'll be a transitional period with a little bit of ice and mixing in there to a plain rain by later on in the morning. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer by then, and by warmer, I mean relatively. It'll still be cold in the 30s, but highs might reach the upper 40s down the shore, and likely just make it above freezing by later on Wednesday morning. That is with a fast-moving system, light accumulation at best. It moves out by Wednesday evening, and we're back to the frigid weather come Thursday and Friday, with highs just struggling to make it even to average back in the 40s. Next few days, feeling cold, but at least by Wednesday, we see some action around here with some snow and rain, with a little bit of a light accumulation north and west, similar to what happened last week. So another little spritz of winter, Ken, as we head into the next week of December.
You know what's funny, and it would be nice if that's what we got this year. We get some years, I notice, we have a bunch of little chip, 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 an inch, an inch, inch, an inch.
Yeah.
You get the years where you get walloped. It would be nice if we got the boop, 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 and then the spring comes. That's
nice.
You know what? Record that. Let's flag that tape. Ken Rosato on what we're hoping for. Blip, 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 blip. See if anybody can interpret that. All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Mike, you have connections. Make it happen.
I'm trying.
Come on, put a little something nice in stocking this year. All right, sir, thank you very much. It's 8:04 right now. Here, you know what? This is something Pam doesn't want to show because it's such a silly shot. I have to share with you. Let's see if I can do this. I'm doing it live here. This is a camera shot. We kidded around saying, oh, you have it? Bring it up. The Pam has it up. So we said that this would be a photographer who got fired from every TV station in New York. But it does illustrate an actual issue right now. And not to make light of it, there is a crash on the New Jersey Turnpike Outer Roadway southbound entering interchange 13A by Newark Airport. That's what that was. So I guess they lost control. They call that servo control of the camera, so they couldn't fix it. But we just thought that was kind of funny. Not funny for the people stuck in traffic, but it's kind of fun to look at that shot. Another issue on the New Jersey Turnpike, if we can, Pam has this one. This is a good shot. This is a disabled truck causing this. It's not as bad as it was a little while ago, but this was on the New Jersey Turnpike outer roadway northbound, south of interchange 14 by I-78 Elizabeth. All lanes are open. So that's the thing. We did have a lane closed before. So now the vehicle's off to the right shoulder. You could see the rightmost lane is kind of stopped. And that's what that is. But you can see things are moving better than certainly they were before when we first had that. In terms of other roadways right now, we have a water main break, Route 17 northbound, and that is north of Industrial Avenue, Hasbrook Heights. The right lane is closed. Traffic signal down Route 45 northbound, north of Berkeley Road in Deptford Township. All lanes are open. The approaches to the Hudson River right now, Holland and Lincoln, both reporting 35 minutes in. GWB upper and lower level has been heavy all morning long. Look at that. It's going to cost you 45 to 50 minutes. At 5 is our time. Evie Wentink is a culture and compliance strategist who spent years working for New Jersey companies, developing what is called compliance or compliance programs, helping to ensure they are in compliance with all federal and local laws. What used to be something that the general manager just kind of kept an eye on as part of their duties, it now requires a whole department to keep running smoothly. With the holiday season here, there are certain things expected of employers and employees when it comes to, let's say, less formal circumstances such as holiday parties. You could find her on Instagram, Substack, and LinkedIn. We say good morning, Evie Wentink.
Good morning, Ed. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, good to have you on. And let me just, for clarity's sake, I know Evie for about 20 years or somewhat, so we're old friends. But it's good to have you on in a professional capacity. Let's talk about holiday gatherings at the office. Both employers and employees are still expected to maintain a certain level of decorum, right? So, how do you know where the line is drawn?
So thank you. Great question, especially this time of the year. So companies generally have code conduct that helps to guide you on what the expectation culture of the company is. My advice to any employee or a boss in the company is remain, be social, but remain business-like, because especially now there are viral moments that can happen in the blink of an eye, and you definitely don't want to be the viral post like we saw earlier this year with Coldplay concert. So that
Yeah,
would be my advice.
yeah. You don't want to have a party where there's no alcohol served if you're out at a restaurant, but at the same time, I mean, my thing is, I used to be when I was at Channel 7, there was only 1 year where we actually had a party where there was alcohol served, and then they had a party with none. Then they just got rid of holiday parties because of money for the whole industry. But I remember everybody saying, "Do not get a cocktail at the dinner." Because you didn't
Mhm.
want to be seen next to the boss and you're hoisting martini after martini. Is that pretty much good advice? Like if you're going to go do without alcohol one night, that's the night to do without alcohol.
I think it really depends on the policy. I recently spoke to a friend about gift giving in business, and we talked about whether giving a bottle of wine or any bottle of alcohol is a appropriate business gift. And I think it dictates by the company policy or the culture of the entire country. And she was in a different country. She was in Baku, Azerbaijan, and we have these conversations. And she's like, "We do no alcohol." And my
Mhm.
argument with her was, well, if that's the case, no alcohol for gift giving, then it should also be for business entertainment. It should be unison. So it's less confusing for the employees, right? You don't want to create environment where it's okay here but not here, because who is going to know those rules? So whatever it is, moderate. I always believe that doing everything in the moderate way will probably keep you out of trouble, especially when it comes to
Yes.
holiday parties and
Right.
alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're at the dinner table and everybody is sharing a glass of wine and you sip part of that glass of wine with your dinner, that's fine. But if you're at the
Right.
bar pounding down 3 martinis before everybody shows up and doing another three during the course of the evening, and then let's have one for the road, that's probably not a good message to send to the bosses. What would you say,
That
Evie, right, to a small business owner who believes having somebody overseeing compliance, it's not important, I could take care of it? That could really get you in trouble, couldn't it?
Well, it certainly could because I don't know. You may think your business is small, but you may not understand fully the risk, how it could impact your company, right?
Mhm.
I could tell you, I dealt with a small organization, and one of the employees didn't fully understand the vision and the mission of the company, and she acted in a different way. So having someone, even on a fractional basis, helping you through the process and setting up the culture, the vision, the values, the policies, procedures, and training is really important and helpful. And I can tell you, I've been involved in organizations that subscribe to this world's most ethical company survey. It comes out every springtime. It's a very intense questionnaire that now you have to pay, and used to you didn't have to. But all the different top companies across the globe will subscribe to it, and that organization, Corpedia and Ethisphere, pick 100 top world's most ethical companies. And they found that if you are ethical, if you have a compliance program, if you do all the right things, you see it in the profit. So if you do good, it will come back to you fold. You will
Mhm.
have happier employees, you will have happier customers, and more money in your pocket. So this is really what it's all about.
And also, shouldn't you just have a rule book, an employee handbook or manual that everybody, including the boss, has to follow those rules, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So that would be your code of conduct. And, then by law, you may have to have some specific policies like sexual harassment and non retaliation, but you're protecting yourself against safety issues, against legal claims. It is very important. And like you said, yes, not only that you expect the employees to follow, but you have to have everyone in the company has to make sure that they follow the rules that you set out, the policies that you set, and any consequences are distributed evenly and fairly across the company. You want to create the culture of compliance.
Evie, tell everybody your website, please, so they'd find you.
Yes, hi. My website is ethicaledgeexperts.com, and you can also find me on LinkedIn, ethical_edge_experts. I post a lot of content also on LinkedIn. If you go and look for my name, Evie Wenting, just to be informed about ethics, compliance, and integrity. Any issues that I see employees, managers, business owners should know about, I am very happy to write about. So please follow me.
Awesome. I noticed I just put your name in and all of that pops up. So it's easy to find. Evie Wenting, my friend, thank you for coming on today. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Ken. Happy holidays.
You bet. It's 8:13. We will be back in 2 minutes. You're watching on New Jersey Mornings.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Get your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Our Stable Life, New Jersey's first equine wellness center. Are you or a loved one suffering from PTSDs, trauma, or life challenges? Consider non-riding equine therapy, where the soul is touched by the presence of a horse with a certified counselor. Our Stable Life is a non-profit at Bergen Equestrian Center in Leonia, New Jersey. We partner with individuals, groups, and agencies to help people recover from addiction, trauma, phobias, and more. Explore equine therapy for healing. BergenEquestrianCenter.com.
At AmeriHealth, we understand what's important to you. It's why we offer some of the lowest cost health plans in New Jersey, with access to one of the state's largest networks of doctors and hospitals. Plus, with free 24/7 virtual care, you can see a doctor anytime and anywhere. And we're committed to giving back to help make a difference in our communities. Learn more at AmeriHealth.com. A health plan for everyone.
Very good morning to you. It is now 8:15 and a chilly morning. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with Garden State Forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
So, Mike, this is the time of year when people step outside and they say, quote, "It's never been this cold in December."
Maybe
If
for
I
this
hear that one more
duration.
time,
Well,
yeah.
it's the
No.
duration, right? Because it's the persistent cold day after day. And then you get these really cold shots in the morning and you get a little snow. I think it's the first snowfall that everybody goes, oh my goodness, like they've never seen snow before, and drive like they've never seen snow before. Well, we start off this morning with no snow in the forecast, at least for the foreseeable future for today and tomorrow. But by this time Wednesday, there will likely be a little bit of rain snow mix falling north and west of the turnpike, potentially as far south as New Brunswick. I think plain rain at the coast this time Wednesday morning, but for today we're locked in with the cold as air temperatures hover right around the freezing mark and struggle just to get much beyond that. Even the wind chill today and tonight down under 0 degrees. We're at -1 by early tomorrow morning. 1 above is your wind chill in Morristown, and 9 at the morning rush at 7 a.m. over in Newark. 8 is how it will feel in Hackensack. So super cold air in place for tonight and tomorrow. And then by Wednesday starts to turn a little bit milder, especially at the coast. With that will be a result of some of those winds out of the south and west, which you can see here, pushing in a little bit more off of the water. It'll be very gusty on Wednesday, though. So with the wind, there will be some rain on Wednesday. And of course, the snow north and west. It doesn't last all day, predominantly a first half of the day sort of event, with clearing by the end of the day. And then Thursday and Friday, keep it cold with that chilly weather sticking around. So with most of the clouds out to sea for now, you see those showers heading offshore. It's the cold, dense air that's keeping us clear of any of that wet weather today. The futurecast shows that change coming in, but later on in the day, Wednesday into Tuesday, and then ultimately clearing Wednesday night with clearing for the upcoming weekend. But the cold weather that digs its heels in sticks around. Saturday and Sunday, highs just making it to freezing for highs. So we'll be briefly at freezing. The rest of the time, below freezing. Cold weather at Ken.
See, I noticed you didn't say below normal. Thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
that. You made me feel
welcome.
better, Mike. It's the little things that make me feel better. I appreciate you, sir. It is 31 degrees in northern New Jersey, 28 degrees now in Trenton. It's 29 degrees in Vineland, and 32 degrees down in Cape May. In terms of traffic, we have a lot of issues around the region. There is a crash. Let's see. Actually, let's start with a disabled truck on the New Jersey Turnpike. Pam, you have that shot, right? That's the disabled truck yep, there it is. Thank you, Pam. The disabled truck on the Turnpike Outer Roadway northbound south of interchange 14 by I-78 Elizabeth. All lanes are open, and you can see the vehicle on the right shoulder right there. Not causing massive problems, just a little slowdown for people by the ramp. We have other issues on the Turnpike, though. I'll just quickly run them down. We have an outer roadway issue. Crash actually southbound entering the interchange 13A Newark Liberty Airport exit. Vehicles in, they call it the gore, that's in the middle lanes, so just to watch out for that. There are also issues up by exit 71. That's northbound up by the GWB. But we're going to show you the GW cam in a minute. We have a water main break, Route 17 northbound, north of Industrial Avenue, Hasbrook Heights. Then your Hudson River crossings, Lincoln and Holland are both reporting 35 minutes, very heavy into Manhattan. And this is all because of the season. Your GWB upper and lower level approaches, not that great. Look at that. Bumper to bumper, 45, 50 minutes in. That's what's going to cost you. 8:19 is our time, and former Democrat Senator Bob Menendez cannot seek public office again in New Jersey following his federal conviction for bribery and related charges. Mercer County Superior Court Judge Robert Logie ordered the ban on Friday after New Jersey officials filed a lawsuit to prevent the 71-year-old Menendez from holding public office in the state because there were thoughts that President Trump might consider pardoning him. I don't think that President Trump's going to do that anymore with Democrats because he just pardoned Henry Cuellar of Texas, who was in jail for fraud. And the minute he got pardoned, he turned around and said, okay, now I'm running for Congress again. And that could actually tip the House of Representatives because he would be running in a district that's very heavily Democrat. Henry Cuellar is very popular, in spite of the fact that he just spent time in jail. The people there will back him because he's a well-known Democrat. So President Trump's feeling was, thanks a lot. That's a nice backslap, backhand in my face. I just pardon you, and now you're going to try to take over Congress. That's really nice of you. But so I think at this point, President Trump will not pardon any further Democrats. Henry Cuellar just kind of slammed the door for that ever happening again. 8:20 is our time, and the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to take up the constitutionality of President Trump's order on birthright citizenship, declaring that children born to parents who are in the United States illegally or temporarily are simply not U.S. citizens. Just because you're born here to a person who is a citizen of another country does not make you a citizen. If you look at the amendments of the Constitution that we assume makes people legal there, the 14th Amendment, it is very carefully worded to say that you are if you're born to parents who do not have any kind of loyalty or fealty to another country, then you are a citizen. But like, for instance, if you are ambassador to the United States and you give birth, okay, the child is not a citizen. Why? Because as an ambassador, your fealty lies with the country that you are representing. So that is one of the exceptions, right? But the question is, doesn't that then extend out to anybody if you are a citizen of another country and just happen to be in the United States legally, illegally, or otherwise, why does it automatically mean that if your child is born here, you're a citizen of the U.S.? Everybody on the left loves to point to the first part of the statement that talks about being born here, but the second part that talks about not having fealty to another nation, they conveniently don't talk about. So now the Supreme Court is going to argue this. And do not be surprised if they strike down the citizenship restrictions, etc. The lower court ruling that struck down citizenship restrictions, basically saying President Trump has no authority to do away with it. This is going to either go in one of two directions. Either they're just going to simply rule that on the surface, President Trump had no authority by executive fiat to say that you're not a citizen if you're born here. And then another case will have to be brought before the Supreme Court in order to prove or disprove your citizenship status if you happen to be born here to foreigners. The other thing that could happen is the Supreme Court could just take it all away and say that this amendment to the Constitution has been misinterpreted for many years. And the bottom line is, just because you are born here, if you are born here to people here illegally or who are just passing through temporarily, that does not automatically make you a U.S. citizen. Maybe it can be analyzed on a case-by-case basis. I'd be fine with that. But to just say automatically, like, for instance, you're traveling from France. You happen to be here on vacation. You give birth a month early. Suppose you don't really want your kid to be a U.S. citizen. According to the law, your kid is automatically a U.S. citizen. I don't want my kid to be a U.S. citizen. So you're forcing U.S. citizenship. The assumption here is that everybody wants to be a U.S. citizen. There are a lot of people who don't want to be U.S. citizens. What if you're from China? You happen to be here visiting for a week because you're visiting relatives. You want to go back to China. Your child is born just while you happen to be here. Your child is born prematurely. I'm a communist. I don't want my kid to be a U.S. citizen. So That is what we're talking about here. And everyone who argues for that automatic citizenship should think about that not everybody wants to automatically be a U.S. citizen. So a definitive ruling is expected by early summer. Birthright citizenship, by the way, only exists in a handful of countries on the planet Earth. 90% plus of the countries on the planet do not have this. It was introduced in a lot of Western Hemisphere countries when they were new, like South American countries who were trying to grow their population to make it easy to become a citizen of, let's just insert the country name here, Argentina. I don't know if that's one of the countries, by the way, I'm just throwing it out there. If you were born there, boom, you have the option to be one. You want to be a citizen? Great. That's fine. I get it. That isn't the case today. It's a different world. Okay. Under the Dred Scott decision, it had ruled that anyone of African descent could never be U.S. citizens. And that's why in the 14th Amendment, that was changed because the purpose then was to allow Africans or people of African descent who were born in the United States now could be U.S. citizens in basically a way to backhand slap the Dred Scott decision. That made sense, but the way it's been bastardized and twisted does not. So we'll see what the Supreme Court says. 825, a wealthy New Jersey suburbs high school. This is what happens when you have too much money, you don't know what to do with it. They're now advertising a new club for young socialists. The Highland Park High School Socialist Club reportedly held its first meeting last Thursday. The school advisor running the meeting, a leftist radical socialist named Mr. Gervin. My suggestion is you find who Mr. Gervin is and get him ousted from your school if he's at your school, or else go to the school board, threaten to have everybody kicked off the school board at the next election if they don't do away with this nonsense. Highland Park, by the way, has a median household income of more than $100,000 a year. So it sounds to me like you have a lot of wealthy people who feel guilty for their wealth. Maybe it's wealth they've inherited. And so they feel it's better if they're socialists because we have to live in socialist life because it's nice and fair for everybody. The only thing socialism does is ensure that everybody lives in shit. That's what socialism does. We all live in poverty. Socialism never ensures that everybody lives in wealth. A Cato Institute study found that 62% of 18 to 29-year-olds, and this should scare you, view socialism favorably. 60+%. 14% of these kids, these stupid-ass kids, want full-fledged communism. Talk to your kids. And don't tell them what to think. Advise them and let them think openly and let them realize that what they might be considering could end up resulting in the deaths of millions of people, which has happened in every socialist country on earth. The Ocean City Council voted last Thursday to authorize the city's planning board to determine whether the site of former Wonderland Pier needs rehab. If it's deemed to, that would open up the possibility that the 2.5-acre site could be rezoned and a previously rejected hotel plan could be moving forward. The plan would preserve Wonderland Ferris wheel and carousel. Since Wonderland closed last year, the property has deteriorated because of its location. 827's our time. It's going to be a cold day today. Make sure you bundle up. Highs only in the upper 20s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta returns with a full Garden State forecast. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings for your Monday. We're coming back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Hey, New Jersey. Want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud to staying healthy and aging in place, finding purpose through volunteering. We've got tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Play like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Hey, Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose and volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
Morning, it's Monday, December 8th, 2025. Right now, 31 degrees at 8:30. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Mixed sun clouds today, breezy, very cold. Highs only in the upper 20s. Meteorologist Mike Vivetta will be here in just a moment with full Garden State forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
Mike, I wanted to freeze some meat, so I put it outside on my balcony.
Oh, no way. Did it work?
Yeah, like a
I
rock.
hope like a rock. Yeah, you'll
It's
find some
cold.
pretty thick ice. If you have any standing water left over, you'll find that turn to ice quickly and remain that way, Ken, for the next several days, especially with all that cold weather around into today. A little bit of sunshine going to try and warm us up in northern New Jersey, but the southern half of the state, you can see here with the satellite picture, has mostly cloudy skies now. At least it's not raining or snowing. That moisture is pushed out to sea. So with the temperatures that are hovering just above the freezing mark today for highs, it will feel chilly, especially with those winds coming in from the north and west right now. Those gusts upwards of 21 miles per hour, 32-mile-per-hour winds in Cape May. That's making for a pretty hefty cold wind chill for you. And even our average of 47 degrees, we're not going to see that for at least the next 2 weeks. Maybe not even until after Christmas. That's how cold it stays. So here are the clouds that you see here, basically south of 195, and it will stay gray for the better part of the southern half of the state of New Jersey right through tomorrow morning. Then we tap into some clear sky again for tomorrow early in the day, but it's cold. Actual air temperature down at 11 in Sussex at 7 a.m., 18 over in Hackensack, 15 in Newark. Super cold air, with the winds then switching direction, blowing in from the south and west, making it feel a little milder, like the 40s to start off Wednesday morning. But then that's the insult of rain that comes in by Wednesday, late morning, early afternoon, with some snow and rain mixing up in northern New Jersey. Maybe there's a light crusty accumulation before it all changes over by lunchtime. By Wednesday evening, it all pushes out and we are left with another round of cold air. Here's the big picture showing the clear sky today over much of the state. Any rain stays to our south. We get another shot of clear weather tomorrow, but there's the winds that come in from south and west in advance with a little bit of rain and snow. And then we're back to clear sky again with another shot of cold weather that takes us into the weekend and even bring back some flurries for Friday in spots. So the 7-day forecast has plenty of cold weather ahead. Going into this upcoming weekend, the highs are in the 30s, and even by Sunday, high of 32, wake up temperature down in the 20s. That's for Newark. There could be areas in New Jersey that start off in the teens and maybe even single digits, but down the shore, a little bit milder, hence the rain on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday seeing a little bit more in the way of clear sky, but so much cold weather with no place to go, Ken.
Oh, no place to go. I say go into a nice warm basement like where your studio is. Oh, you mean that is everywhere? I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't hear the clanging of the radiator pipes? Yes. Cling, cling,
I love it.
cling.
The amazing thing is these mics don't pick it up. The mics don't pick it up. I had the microwave reheating my coffee before. You couldn't hear it. It was beeping and, whirring 2 feet away from me. Didn't get picked up. I love it.
Fantastic.
It's awesome. Remember back in the day, like when you worked in a TV studio, somebody 30 feet away was like, did that? You go, shh.
I
Right?
know, so
Now
true.
you got the baby crying, the dog barking. You don't even hear it. It's amazing. Pam is saying it
Oh, it's
happens there
beautiful.
still. In the
It's
Pam is
because
in
we
our
only hire the
namesake.
best audio engineers for our production. That's why.
The highest paid
Right.
audio engineers
Mhm.
in the industry, right
That's
here
right.
on New Jersey.
Infinity.
Uh,
Infinity.
I love it. All right, Mike. Thank you, sir. We will check back.
But
It is a chilly 30 degrees now, northern New Jersey, 28 degrees in Trenton. It's 28 degrees also in Vineland. So the inland communities are colder than the coastal communities right now. In terms of traffic, we have a crash on the New Jersey. Actually, let's do this one. Pam has this. New Jersey Turnpike. This is the breakdown. This is the disabled truck on the New Jersey Turnpike, Outer Woodway, northbound, south of interchange. Of course, it's not allowing me to move it. Come on. Interchange 14 by I-78. Yeah, so all lanes are open. You could see the truck on the right shoulder. It's been there for a while. It hasn't been impacting traffic much, but just beware in case there is a little slowdown beforehand. That is the case. Disabled vehicle now on Route 1, southbound, south of Dean's Lane in South Brunswick. The right shoulder is closed. Back to the Turnpike. We have an issue now at the express lane up by exit 71, which we will show you with the GWB cam in a moment. We have a traffic signal down on Route 45 northbound by Berkeley Road in Deptford Township. All lanes are open, but that's causing a bit of a slowdown. Lincoln and Holland both reporting 35 minutes into Manhattan, and the GWB upper and lower has been a mess all morning. And that coupled with this crash at exit 71, which is right by there. Look at this, it's just not moving. This is now going to cost you close to an hour into Manhattan. That is just an ugly mess. Wow. That is, I mean, you got to look at it and just think. I was in that the other day. It wasn't quite that clogged, but that is an absolute mess. All right, 8:35 is our time. And have you ever heard of something called juice jacking? If not, listen up. Next time you plug in your phone for a quick recharge at the airport, you might be giving a bad guy access to all of your phone's sensitive data. And you would think that major banks have major security for your data too, but there's been a breach at some of the big ones. Brand and digital strategist Fisher, who could be found on X and Threads with the username @Fisher and through his website, fisher.media, joins us with tips on what to buy. Joins us with tips on where to charge, when not to charge, etc. What to buy too. You might need one of those anchor chargers. Good morning, Fisher.
Yeah,
Good to have
absolutely.
you on.
Good morning. I'm not
So-
going to rub it in, but it's 43 degrees here. So just
Oh,
wanted
yeah,
to-
he's down in Atlanta. There you go.
Gotcha.
All right. So, but it gets cold there. It gets cold.
Sure,
So
yeah.
tell me, what is juice jacking? So
Yeah.
explain it, because you told me off air. So tell us what juice jacking is.
Yeah, so cybersecurity experts are urging travelers to beware of juice jacking. Now, juice jacking, as you asked, is the threat involving public USB charging. And I have props, right? So normally you would plug your phone into an outlet that would look like this, right? I'm trying to make sure I get it on the screen. There you go, right? But at airports, typically around seating, they have the ability for you to plug your USB port in like this, right? So it's just this and you plug it in. Well, that charging port can transfer data both ways, allowing hackers to install malware and steal personal information or access accounts. So you're not just charging your phone, you're making it vulnerable. Now, obviously a tip would be to use charging devices using AC power plugs instead of USB ports to eliminate data transfer vulnerabilities. You could also use, got more props, portable chargers. Invest in a cheap portable battery pack. They're usually $8 to $15. This one came with my luggage, but you can just buy one at Target, Best Buy, wherever, to avoid public stations altogether during travel. Now, you could also experience this besides the airport. Keep in mind if you're getting your car service, they usually have USB chargers, things that if you're in an Uber, sometimes the Uber driver will say, oh, you can plug in to the USB in the back and charge your phone. Don't do that either. The other huge deal at airports is unsecured airport Wi-Fi. It's considered a greater threat because hackers can pretend that they're airport Wi-Fi, right? So you go to LaGuardia, you go to Newark, and you see Newark free Wi-Fi or LGA free Wi-Fi, etc. You hop on, and in reality, it's some guy with a computer a couple of gates down, right? So instead, use VPN or a hotspot. Now, you could buy a hotspot separately from your cellular provider, or usually your phone can also be a hotspot, and then use that as your source of internet. If you don't have a VPN, if you have VPN and you connect to a network that is unsecured, turn that VPN on before you begin any surfing, and you should be safe. But definitely don't just connect to an unsecure airport Wi-Fi, which also most airport Wi-Fis are unsecure anyway. So definitely use a VPN. So whether it's a hacker or not, I could get into the airport Wi-Fi and then get onto your machine because, again, if you're not using a VPN, it leaves your computer, your device, your phone, whatever, very vulnerable.
The question though, Fisher, is even if I'm using a VPN, if I use my USB and plug directly into one of those jacks, does the VPN still protect me in that case?
No, because at that point, giving a
Right.
direct, you might as well have just connected to the hacker's computer at that point. So
Right.
it's two different things.
Your phone becomes a hard drive on his computer. Right. He just has access
Exactly.
or whatever she.
VPNs only protect internet access. So think of it that
Gotcha.
way. So anything that's
Gotcha.
that's using your bank, that's using email, that's using just surfing the web, anything like that. That's the only thing that VPNs protect.
As I've always said, if these dirtbags spent half as much energy doing something legitimate, they'd be billionaires that way. But this somehow seems fun to them, I guess. Now, so is there ever a time you think it's safe to use a charger? Or just do what you're saying. Just take the plug head, and if you're using the plug head, now there's no way
USB.
to get access.
I got my battery charger. That's the only time it's okay. Right here.
Or like you said, if you have an AC plug.
Yes. Which is here.
Right, the AC.
And you can buy those at Target. You can get them at, whatever your cell company is right here, and then you just plug in. But, you charge it this way at home. Don't plug this directly into an outlet.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. We think of skimmers. That's sort of like the USB version of skimmer, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
All right. So there you go. All right. Juice jacking. There we have it. Now, I thought if any organizations were to be somewhat safe, it would be banks. You would think they would have 1,000 levels of crypto, whatever. But there are two major banks that look like they've been hacked with a data breach.
Technically, third-party service provider for those banks, JP Morgan Chase and Citi, were directly impacted by Stitus AMC, which again is a third party layered on top that has different pieces of information. So account documents, legal documents, and details related to some clients was what was captured. Says AMC quickly contained the breach, contacted the FBI. The FBI is looking into it. Quickly, here's some things to protect yourself. Number one, freeze your credit. It is absolutely free. You don't lock your credit. That's a charge by the credit bureau. So if you go to lock your credit, you'll see that they'll charge for it. Google freeze credit, Experian freeze credit, TransUnion freeze credit, Equifax. It's free. You just have to enter some information, some personal information, including your social security number, but make sure you're also going to those websites to do it. Change your banking passwords, even if it's not JP Morgan Chase or Citi, add two-factor authentication. We've gone through this. You could also add alerts on your accounts to notify you of withdrawals, charges where a physical card wasn't used, anything out of the country that was charged, anything over $100. You could take your debit card and put a limit of $500 a day. And also Clark Howard, who's a consumer advocate and a friend of mine, suggested creating a checking account separate from your actual checking account with all your money. Keep a certain amount of money in there and then have your debit card attached to that.
My Brandon digital strategist Fisher, who can be found on X and Threads with username @Fisher, through his website fisher.media as well. Thank you so much for coming on this morning, sir. Happy holidays.
Have a good day. You too.
You too. It is 32 degrees right now at 43. When we come back, there's a new Disney Pixar themed mini golf pop-up at the Garden State Plaza in Paramus. We're coming right back.
Play it like the New York Sirens. Live in the spotlight. Etch your name in lights. Embrace the noise. And when it calls you, turn it up. Get louder. Play it like they'll hear us everywhere. Because this is our team. New York Sirens. Play it big.
Hey, New Jersey, want to choose how you live as you age? Tune into AARP New Jersey's new show, The Power of Us, the show that celebrates aging with dignity, purpose, and joy. From protecting yourself against fraud, to staying healthy and aging in place, to finding purpose through volunteering, we've got the tools, tips, and stories to help you thrive. Join us on ONNJ and discover the power of us.
And welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato at 8:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the Garden State forecast.
Weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts.
Well, the bad news is it's really chilly, and it's going to be chilly
Yeah.
all day into tonight. But the worst news is we might get a
Uh-huh.
dusting by Wednesday.
That's true. That's true. And you know, the power companies are even keeping note of this because PSE&G is tree trimming outside. But it's hard to be like an outdoor worker when you're in this kind of cold, right? You step outside yourself just a few minutes and your fingertips start freezing. That'll be the case this afternoon. 28 degrees as our high in Wayne, 25 up in West Milford. Super cold air. We're running about 15 to 18 degrees below average for this time of year, and it stays so chilly into the next few days. We're still running a bit dry though, so the drought continues, especially up there in Sussex County, even extending into a northern section of Warren County, with anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of a rainfall deficit over into western Passaic. The rest of the state faring a little bit better, but still on the drier side, at least over the last 30 days. Now, with the cold weather that has no place to go, it stays chilly right into Christmas week. Here in the Northeast and New Jersey, have to head down toward the Southwest to get the much warmer than average weather. Even places like Florida, just expected to be average going into the next few weeks. And with the dry weather persisting, it doesn't look like there's much drought improvement over the next few days. So the 7-day forecast has plenty of cold weather around. Yes, a little bit of rain, snow. It's a messy, windy day Wednesday. I don't think there's much of an accumulation as it all transitions to a plain rain. But whatever falls is then kind of locked in place with that cold weather lasting into next week, with highs not even making it above the freezing mark 1 week from today, Ken.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. In terms of traffic, what we have right now is Route 208 northbound, north of Maple Avenue in Glen Rock has the right lane of 2 lanes closed because of a crash there. We have a disabled vehicle on Route 1 southbound, south of Dean's Lane in South Brunswick with the right shoulder closed. And on New Jersey Turnpike outer roadway right now, we have a problem with a crash, and that is entering interchange 13A by Newark Liberty Airport and Elizabeth. Vehicles are in the gore. That is in the little middle section there. We also have a water main break, Route 17 northbound, north of Industrial Avenue in Hasbrook Heights. The right lane of 3 lanes now closed. And your Hudson River crossings, the Holland Tunnel, 25 minutes in. The Lincoln is 35. GWB upper and lower levels. Take a look at this. We do have a lot of traffic there. Your upper and lower levels, we're told, going to cost you quite a bit right now, about a 50 to 60 minute crossover time. That's quite a lot for this time of year, but nonetheless, you could expect that right through the beginning of January. Look at that, no motion at all there. It is 8:48, and Pixar Putt is a new 18-hole Disney Pixar-themed mini golf pop-up now open at Garden State Plaza in Paramus. It's complete with holes inspired by classics like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, Monsters, Inc., Inside Out, and many more. Christopher Michael is the marketing manager and associate producer of Bailey Street Entertainment. We say good morning to Christopher.
Good morning, Ken. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on. So tell us about this. We're always looking for family-friendly things in New Jersey. It's suburbia. You got people visiting this time of year from other places, and you're looking for things to do. So this sounds like, as I just knocked my microphone, this sounds like the perfect thing to do with family and visitors. So tell us the experience of Pixar Putt and what stands out compared to other so-called traditional mini golf outings.
Yes, absolutely, Ken. Thank you. So Pixar Putt is more than just a mini golf experience. It's actually an immersive journey through the worlds of Pixar itself. As you're putting through all of the holes, each hole is inspired by one of the films, like Turning Red, Coco, Toy Story, some of those. Each hole is captured and designed to relive the story of each Pixar film that we all know and love. Like the Toy Story hole has the claw that brings up the aliens, and you're kind of like immersed in the world of it with music and everything else going on. It's a really fun experience.
It's interesting because I worked for Disney, ABC. I don't anymore, but I did work for them for 20 years. So I'm very familiar with all of the themes, and it was very, very fun. You can't knock anything Disney because it's just amazing. From your
Absolutely.
vantage point, right? And everybody knows the themes. That's the cool thing. So from your vantage point, which holes or aspects tend to generate the most excitement or engagement from families and fans? Have there been any standouts?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like the entire course is a really exciting thing because there's so many colors, there's so much music, everything is so exciting all the time. One of my personal favorites is the Luca hole. You put your ball up a ramp and it comes down, racing through the town back down to where you actually like win the hole, where you put into the end. But it just mimics the themes and the energy of the actual film, and it just makes you feel like you're reliving those experiences again. Same with the uphole. The uphole is kind of what we close the course with, and your ball actually flies up into the sky and over to Paradise Falls, and it's just such an immersive, like, wonderful, heartwarming experience.
That's amazing. How long does it take for, say, two? I know it depends on how many in your party, right? But say a typical twosome. How long would it take to go through the 18 holes for a twosome?
Yes, absolutely. As a date night kind of experience, or even just like a parent and a child, usually say about 90 minutes to play the entire course.
Okay. So now if you have four people, four kids, whatever, it might be a little longer. And obviously, if you have little ones along and you want to help them along, it's going to take a little bit time. But the nice thing about something like this really is something that everybody can enjoy because so many of the Disney Pixar films are not just for kids, but adults love them too. So both will understand, right? So you get an adult there or a kid, they'll get the theme, they'll get what this is talking about.
Absolutely, yes. And I think that's the most important and the most crucial part about the Disney Pixar magic is it speaks to everyone, no matter what age. Something that we say at Pixar Putt is it's designed for people from 3 to 103. So grandparents, parents, kids, date nights, lady night out. Everyone who comes to the course can find something to enjoy, whether it be nostalgia element or even just like having fun for the day. Everyone has a great time.
You guys started this as a pop-up, but does it look like this is going to stay? Because this sounds like this is, I mean, immediately when I heard this, I thought that's going to do really well and that's going to last. How long does it look like? I mean, are you allowed to share how long you're going to stay there? Because I'm hoping you're there for the long haul.
So in general, Pixar Putt is kind of built on a touring model. So the exciting part about Pixar Putt in general is it's a limited engagement type of offering. So no matter where you go to or wherever Pixar Putt goes, we're only there usually from about a couple months to sometimes we've extended in some places. Currently, like we're talking about in New Jersey, we're at Garden State Plaza through the winter of 2026. And then we've actually also had a course at the Pixar Place Hotel in Anaheim, and that has been open since February. So yeah, it's a touring engagement, and it's just exciting to bring it to different audiences and new audiences throughout the country.
I hope you. Yeah, I will definitely take the relatives, the kids and nephews and nieces there. Hell, I want to enjoy it myself, but because it sounds like such a great family thing to do. New Jersey It depends on the years I've been here. Some years there are more things to do with family, and other years not so much. But this is just the perfect destination. How booked do you guys get? How far in advance do you recommend getting tickets? And should they get them online, or can they just wait until they show up?
Yes, absolutely. Tickets can be purchased at www.pixarputt.com. For the best experiences, we usually say that weekends are pretty lively and full of energy, and weekdays offer a little bit more of a relaxed pace, especially in a place like Garden State Plaza. Whether there's shopping going around you or if there's the hustle bustle of regular food, shopping, and entertainment. Weekends a little bit more lively, weekdays a little bit more relaxed, but both are really great options.
There you go. And you can, and like you said, you can get the tickets online. And are we allowed to talk about the price of tickets or not? We can always tell people just go there and find out, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. Tickets start at $26, and there's different pricing option of if you have more people in your family. We have a family of 4+ pack, so those start at $26 if you have 4 more in your party.
That is very fair. There's nothing about that when you consider the cost of a movie today or anything else. The fact that you're spending 90 minutes or 2 hours, depending on how many of your group, quality time with your family, doing something together, having fun, and making memories. That's another thing. When you go to see a movie, you're all focused on the movie. You do something like this together, you get the goofy shot, the silly picture, things that you want as a family or group of friends or people, relatives visiting for the holidays. This sounds like the absolute perfect venue. So once again, what is the website for more information on this? One more time.
Yes, it's www.pixarputt.com.
All right. Well, hey, Pixar Putt, Garden State Plaza in Paramus. Go there, do some shopping, go to Pixar Putt. You spend the whole day. Sounds like a fabulous way to spend a few days during the holiday season. Christopher Michael, Marketing Manager, Associate Producer, Bailey Street Entertainment. Thanks for coming on this morning. And listen, come on again, before you guys break it down and move on, because again, New Jersey is always looking for this kind of a thing for families. We always pride ourselves on being a family-friendly environment, and it's nice that you guys are around for this. Happy holidays to you.
Yes, you do. Thank you, Ken. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And we'll be seeing you. I'm going to check it out. Sounds like a good time. All right, it's 8:56 right now, and meteorologist Mike Favetta says we're going to have mixed clouds and sun today. It's going to be a little breezy, but it will feel very, very cold. Highs say only making it to the upper 20s. Then tonight, very cold. You're talking about the upper teens. The thing about it is if you have any kind of a wind flow, any kind of air, that upper teens is going to feel nasty cold. And with 15-mile-an-hour winds today, even the upper 20s will feel very, very cold. So just beware of that. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Monday, December 8th, 2025. I'm Ken Rosato. Remember, you can always stream us at ONNJ.com, Roku, Fire TV, News On, Samsung, TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are also streamed live on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and now Local Now. Check out Local Now if you haven't. It's sort of a conglomerate of all these TV stations from all over the country. You put your zip code in, and it focuses on your area. But if you want to look at TV stations from anywhere, go to Local Now. You could zoom in on anywhere. Really fun thing to do. So we are on Local Now. Depending on where you are in New Jersey, we're in a different dial position, but you'll find us. ONNJ or on New Jersey, you will find us. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us. Until tomorrow, have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato. See you tomorrow.